Hey, core reporters, welcome back to my channel. Listen, I know Astroworld was only like a year ago, but somehow it feels like 1,000 years ago, as slow as these lawsuits are moving. We finally do have news about one of like the hundreds of lawsuits that Travis Scott is facing. And luckily for his victim, he managed to secure himself a settlement from Travis Scott. I'm wondering what this means for Travis strategically, because if he settled something out of court, I think it means that you've got to kind of like admit some level of liability, or maybe he strategically did some kind of settlement where it wasn't an admission of liability. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get a lawyer over here to talk through that with me, but I am quite fascinated by the precedent that he's setting because remember, he is facing like $2 billion worth of lawsuits for him. So for him to settle right out of the gate, the first news you hear about a lawsuit finishing with him is a settlement and not like a dismissal or anything like that. I think that that spells bad news for him. But, you know, on the more important side, good news for the victims of Astroworld, right? So the family that managed to get a settlement was the family of Alex Acosta. So Alex, unfortunately, was one of the victims who passed away at Astroworld Festival in November of 2021. It's still so sad to imagine that all of these people went to see one of their favorite artists perform, to have a good time, to dance, to sing, to just experience, right? And they just never wound up making it back home. And why? Because they were encouraged, not them particularly, some of them did not even participate in the stampede or the mosh pit or anything like that. I should say that just an overall atmosphere of violence and stampeding and just recklessness was being encouraged, and they unfortunately suffered the fatal consequences of it. So although we are aware as of yesterday that Alex's family managed to settle with Travis Scott, details of their settlement are going to remain confidential. We don't know how much money they managed to get or if there was any other form of compensation provided as well. In total, 10 people died at Astroworld Festival and hundreds of others were injured. Remember, this is one out of several lawsuits. There are other individual lawsuits that were filed against Travis Scott. There were class action lawsuits filed against Travis Scott, etc., etc. One thing that I would really love to know is whether or not Travis was personally liable for paying off the settlement. Was it him, or was it his insurance company? Was it the security company who actually wound up having to foot the bill for this lawsuit at the end of the day? I imagine that the settlement was at least a couple of $1 million. And again, with it just being the beginning, Travis Scott to me is not a huge artist. I don't know any Travis Scott songs besides Sicko Mode, which came out, like 4 years ago, and Highest in the Room. And Sicko Mode was a smash hit. That I cannot deny. But Highest in the Room, I only heard it like twice and it was in passing. You know what I mean? So I don't know that he's got the coin like that. So yeah, I really would love to know who actually wound up paying for these victims. Of course, they deserve to be paid, but who is writing the checks at the end of the day? Again, you guys, I'm going to have to talk to some of my lawyer friends here on YouTube. We're going to put together a stream so that we can answer all of these questions. If you have any other questions about these lawsuits or anything else involving Astroworld Festival, please do make sure to leave it in the comment section down below, because I will get to them. I will credit you as well, of course. And we're going to have some of our favorite YouTube, I don't want to call them YouTube lawyers because they're real live lawyers, but some of our favorite lawyers here on YouTube come by to answer the questions for us, okay? In the meantime, congratulations to Alex Acosta's family for their settlement. I know that Alex's life is priceless and nothing will ever, ever, ever be able to replace that. But at the very least, to have some sort of acknowledgement that there was wrongdoing, that he suffered and that he was a victim, I'm sure has to count for something. Right. I imagine they appreciate that at the very least. You guys, again, make sure to leave all of your thoughts, opinions, and questions for our YouTube lawyers and in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. All right, you guys, this might look a little bit choppy, but it's so funny. After I finished my recording of the video, wondering, is it Travis Scott who's paying for it? Is it the insurance? Is it the promoter? Is it the security team or whatnot? I don't know. They just issued an update on TMZ. I was reading the story on Hollywood Life, and now TMZ is saying that a source connected to the case is telling them that it's Live Nation responsible for putting on the festival that is paying the settlement and not him. And not only that, but a source close to Travis is also telling TMZ that no member, and this is a quote, of Travis Scott's team has been involved in any Astroworld settlement discussions. So it's really looking like Travis Scott is a cat with 9 lives who is not going to have to take any personal financial responsibility for the disaster, the deadly disaster that was Astroworld Festival. Just an FYI, you guys. I'm curious, can he keep this up? Will Live Nation foot the nearly $2 billion worth of lawsuits? Or will Travis have to come out of pocket a little bit for some of it? Will other people have to come out of pocket a little bit for some of it? I don't know. But this is interesting. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Again, I do congratulate the late Alex Acosta's family for the settlement. And I hope that all the other victims of this festival will be compensated as well. Again, to stay up to date on this story, don't hesitate to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I've been covering it since the news broke last year, November 2021, and I'm not going to stop covering it until we're down to the last lawsuit. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.